One of the many staples of the Fallout 4 video game is the Red Rocket gas station. In today's video, we're going to be exploring different red rockets throughout the entire game, jumping between some characters here and there. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification button as we walk through the different red rockets and see what we can see. Now let's turn on our Pip-Boy here. This red rocket is just south of Sanctuary, and this is where you can greet the dog. The dog has a tiny head for some reason here, but that's okay. Doggo's such a good doggo. On the surface, there's not a lot to see. A lot of junk, a lot of debris, and there is a workstation in the garage, so you can turn this red rocket into a settlement. Tons of vines to pick up, and if you use mods, you can scrap all the debris, which I have done in other videos. You can also get the vines out of here off of the light poles here, off of the electrical wires, and even extend the radius to this area. Now this area over here is technically part of the Red Rocket environment, and this area is full of gunners and super mutants and general bad guy spawns, so make sure you defend this area well. It's also a decent hunting ground for ragstag does and just radstags in general. I think, yeah, I popped one there earlier. You can go and get some bottle caps, meat, hides. There's usually 2 or 3 that walk around in this area. We're just before Concord here. This whole area is a great hunting ground, so make sure you check that out. Now in the back, we've got a nice 2-door sports vehicle that can seat 4 persons. We also have a truck back here. Starting off, it gives you a chemistry station and a lot of tires to scrap, as well as an armor bench, a cooking station here, and a weapons workbench, along with a power armor location. And this is the second time we've seen this. The first time we've seen this is in Sanctuary Hills, but as we talked about in that mysteries and lore video, power armor was a military use item only. So why are these popping up all over the Commonwealth? From an in-game perspective, perhaps people just dragged them around, or maybe found a way to build them. I really don't know. But what I do know is these signs are amazing. We got some pre-war signage. No smoking here, obviously, because there's oil stains everywhere. Vault-Tec calendar, and good jobs are safe jobs. Gotta love that Union sign. Now, coming through here, we see a lot of trinkets and items we can pick up. These Giddy Up Buttercup pieces are very useful. Coming around here, we can also loot the cash register for a good amount of pre-war money. Admire the pre-war signs. And back here is a cap stash, along with a Red Rocket terminal. Let's explore this together. Alright, let's load it up. Business entries. We have 3. The first one, new equipment installed. Took some wrangling with the head office, but we finally got all the tools we need to machine our own parts. No more having to pay for Corvega factory parts the next time they change the spec on a damn fastener. Just take one we got and trim the excess down until it fits. So not only in the pre-war era was this Red Rocket a service station, but it looks like it became its own mini assembly line. The next one is called Rosa Restoration. That Rosa Whittle in Sanctuary Hills is restoring an old classic Corvega with her son. Nice woman, pretty. Kid seems like kind of a brat, but I guess that's the point of her doing this project with him. Anyway, she's been doing a hell of a job. I was amazed at how much her and the kid have been able to do on their own. The only reason she even came to me is because the engine is out of her depth. I'm sure we can help her out. It's nice to see that in pre-war America, there are some good people who run reasonable shops, run ethical shops. Safe storage, gym. Take care of those barrels before you leave tonight. Inspectors are coming first thing in the morning. Just hide them with the others. We'll figure out a longer-term solution later. Hey, if nature's gonna favor us with a cave right below the shop, who am I to argue? Now, I did a reel where we demoed that cave, and we'll explore that cave together. But let's finish up the lore entries here. The October service logs. Friday, October 1st. Replace the brakes in a 2075 Fusion Flea Supreme. Good for them. Wednesday, October 6th. Monthly service on the Vault-Tec van. No major issues with the vehicle, but that rep is an uppity asshole. We've met the Vault-Tec rep, and he's a little goofy. He's a little goofy. Let's go to the next one, and began work on a late model motorcycle, pre-atomic. What seemed to be simply a sticky throttle turned out to be a more serious issue with the cables. They're almost all completely degraded. We'll replace with platinum parts. Now, this is one of the few times we see in the Fallout universe that pre-atomic vehicles are used. It's an old school petrol-based motorcycle. That's kind of cool. Monday, October 18th is coolant leak in one of those new 2077 Corvega coupes. Bubble top. They don't make them like they used to. It's true. They don't. They don't make them anymore, in fact, because the world has been blown to shit. And finally, Friday, October 22nd, the day before the bombs dropped. Replace the atomic alternator in a 2073 Corvega. Good for them. Now, let's back out of all of this noise, because after learning a bit about the shopkeep and reading through the entries, we discovered that there is a cave under the shop. And I would advise you to bring some Rad-X and Rad-Away, because the cave is here, it is full of brain fungus, and this is not a good sign. This is not a good sign, because it's going to be full of atomic waste. If you guys like brain fungus, go ahead and pick that up here. You can harvest it. There's also a ton of mole rats in here. Stepping around, we see disused barrels and even a part of a fusion generator with a fusion core that you can pick up. We also find a Trash Busters Award. Mr. Benson, on behalf of Boston Regional Office, I would like to congratulate you and your team on winning the 2076 Trash Busters Award for the greatest year-to-year waste reduction by a single store. Respect for the environment is an integral part of our corporate image, and we appreciate your innovative efforts in this regard. Sincerely, Gerald Phillips, the Vice President of the Boston region. So, maybe they weren't that ethical. Maybe they weren't that ethical just because they, this is pretty gross. There's empty beer bottles and a Nuka-Cola here. There's all kinds of trash and garbage, flammable barrels. There's a melon in a cooler, and a bunch of nifty stuff in this duffel bag. Stepping around up here, we trip over what appears to be the remains of a vehicle and a bunch of tires. Interesting, because many of the there's more tires than cars. All I'm going to say on that, more tires than cars. Again, we've got some more radioactive barrels here. We've got a pre-war skeleton camped out here, who my guess is when the bombs drop, he fled to this cave. Is this the owner? Is this the owner of this red rocket, or is this the manager? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this theory. I think it's likely he was either the manager or one of the employees at the Red Rocket, just because not many people know about this cave in the pre-war era. But the computer shows that the Red Rocket staff did. Did one of them flee down here? Who knows, but clearly he didn't make it. There's a teddy bear chilling in the water. Not sure why this is here. That's also another fun mystery. But yeah, there's a safe here and some tools and a cup. There's a lot of junk that you can come and pick up here. Now, we can do a final sweep of the Red Rocket as we exit this cave. Stepping out into the Commonwealth, we can take in this beautiful fresh air and just do a quick walk around to see what's going on in this area. Not a whole heck of a lot. There are some naked mole rats that will pop up on occasion, so do be careful. Doggo over there will gladly give you a hand with them. They're great for meat. And over here you can occasionally find more rad stag does. With that being said, let's head on over to the next Red Rocket on our adventure. Let me know what you think so far as we step into Lexington. The Red Rocket in Lexington is right below the Corvega assembly plant and next door to the Super Duper Mart. As you recall in the first section of the video, Red Rocket used to get parts from the Corvega assembly plant, and now we know why, because there's one literally on the doorstep of the assembly plant. This Red Rocket's structured a little bit differently, as it's got a nice, beautiful post-atomic, that was an explosion, post-atomic motorcycle next to some gas tanks here. It's also got one of these cool coolant / fueling systems set up, just like the other Red Rockets, and even an armor workbench. Stepping inside here, we have a bit of a smaller environment where the employees would work. Single room, no back office, just a cash register, some coolant, and a wrench right here to work on vehicles as they needed. As we step around and walk around the outside, we've got a weapons workbench here that was made after the bombs dropped, just because I don't think that the pre-war employees were super big on busting out weapons, but that's okay. Looking at the environment in its entirety, it's pretty compact, but it's also conveniently placed in the road, as many people would park at that parking ramp over there to get to the Super Duper Mart, as well as the laundromat across the street. There is this little diner here too that features a Slocum's Joe poster. It's got a coffee machine there because of the mods that we put in. And yeah, let's just explore this little area, because people could get their cars worked on, people can make coffee. There's an espresso tin here from the Creation Club kit. I personally recommend you guys get that, because it can turn your Red Rocket experience into a more immersive one. Let's go back, because I will be yelled at if I don't pick up the this cap stash here that I walked past. I tend to miss things, and my viewers are very good about calling that out. As for the Red Rocket itself, it's got the coolant prices, and this one is pretty much wrapped up. This one does not have a power armor station, which is interesting. You would think it would, but it doesn't. Anyways, let's head on over to Fort Hagen and explore that Red Rocket together. The Fort Hagen filling station is a Red Rocket that resembles the Sanctuary build style. It's got the carport, it's got the giant rocket, it even has vines hanging off of that rocket. Look at that! It's also got the cool coolant and fueling station. There's a raider that I took down. Oh no, that was a settler. Whoops. Yeah, I mistook that settler for a raider. That's okay. Anyway, the Red Rocket has a exact same build and feel to the one just outside of Sanctuary. We can step inside here and there's a clipboard we can take. However, these papers don't have anything on them. It's got a back office right next to an armor workbench, and this office really doesn't have much to it other than just standard junk and a toolbox. We can just we can start looting this stuff. There's another toolbox here, great for picking up items. And there are more gas canisters. If you need gas canisters, Red Rocket is a great place to come. It's definitely a great place to come. Stepping in the garage, we see the same power armor setup, but we don't see a workbench. We don't see a diagnostics cart, excuse me. We just see more junk and debris. Now, the interesting thing about this Red Rocket is also its location. It's got, when this road was not destroyed, good God, there goes my frame rates, trucks could come up here and be serviced, as well as vehicles like this beautiful sports car that once single person seats, but unfortunately did not survive the bombs. This could be a fun place to come if you use mods to turn this into a settlement. It's right next to Fort Hagen, or Fort Hagen, Hagen. There's still a debate going on around about that. And there's even a lawn flamingo here. Now my question to you is, do you think that this Red Rocket is actually big enough for its location? Let me know in the comment section down below, because given that there's a military base right there, there's a lot of houses over here, there is, beyond the military base, there is the blood mass clinic, and there's more buildings over here that look to be apartment buildings. I don't know if this Red Rocket could actually maintain this environment. I don't. So it would have been interesting to see if the developers made a bigger one, what that could look like, or if there's a regional headquarters that will come out in Fallout 5, which we won't see until I'm like 86. Let me know in the comment section down below, because now we're going to move on to the next one, which I believe is at Nahant Wharf. Now this Red Rocket is no, you all go away. You go away. This is a Red Rocket video, not a Brotherhood of the Steel video. So alright, let's just take this out, and perfect. Let's head to this Red Rocket. We are near the Nahant. I can never pronounce this, so guys, yell at me in the comment section down below. But we are by the Sheriff's Department and the wharf. We'll just call it the wharf. Oh god, I almost died. Now, this Red Rocket is a much smaller one, but it's structured a little bit differently. We have a power armor station right outside, actually. We have the same coolant system. We've got two damaged fuel tanks here, along with another vehicle that's rusted out. This would be an amazing car to have. Fusion powered, and look at that interior. Still looks like a nice burgundy, even though it's no longer usable. We have the stereotypical ice machine here. And stepping inside, we have a one-room building establishment with a couple shelves here that would have various snacks and coolant, oil, kind of what you'd expect at a gas station, right? This place has seen better days. And out back we have a lot of dead fish, a pile of tires, more cars, and a damaged sign. Now, one thing I do find interesting here is this power armor station. Is that it could be connected to the power armor that's on the barge. I did a reel about that a couple days ago. Make sure you check out that reel. It is it's kind of a cool power armor that you can find over there. I'll show that off in a minute. Despite the burning wreckage of the Brotherhood of Steel, we are in a nice little township area, and we have the option to climb up on the roof. So let's hop up here, just doing a little bit of parkouring. Let's figure out how to do this here. There we go. And we can walk along here to the top, and we see some interesting things. There's a weapons workbench here. There's an armor workbench here. Nuka-Cola. We're gonna pick up the Nuka Cherry next to the dog bowl, and we've got a sniper's. We got a sniper's nest with some lawn flamingos. What an interesting touch by Bethesda. You gotta love it. But this vantage point is perfect for taking out Mirelurks or Brotherhood of Steel people, or just anything that comes to bother you. Perfect vantage point. We also have a little bowling alley right here. This is probably the most in-depthly designed Red Rocket that we have seen thus far. We have a basketball being used as a bowling ball for some reason. That's not canonical, but that's okay. That's okay. Whoever lived here, lived in style. I mean, got a bed, you got a checkerboard, you got tires to rest your feet on, you have lawn flamingos. What more could you possibly want next to your own bowling alley and your very own armor and weapons workbench area? This is cool. I like this one. This by far is my favorite so far when it comes to the intricacy of the building. Okay, I guess X688 disliked that. Whatever. Get over it. Institute moron. Now, I mentioned over here that there is power armor, and you do want to be careful because depending on your level, there will be a Assaultron and or a Mr. Gutsy. This is a nifty place you can come and scrap or just find ammo, such as in these ammo boxes and crates. And if you step around here, just come around the back, this is the power armor that I did in the reel. So if you have a bunch of junk on you, you find this, you want to upgrade it, just take it over to the Red Rocket. You're good to go. Now, let me pull up the next one because we're on an adventure. Check out the Red Rocket at Far Harbor. When you leave Far Harbor itself and go past Beaver Creek Lanes, you can stumble upon another Red Rocket. This one is a bigger one with the Red Rocket on it, but it doesn't have the vines, which is kind of nice. Right next door to this little house, it's got a doghouse here. Be careful because there are vicious wolves in this area. Now, if you use the ultimate settlement pack, you can turn this into a settlement, you guys. Oh my goodness, there are so many wolves today. My god. All right, now let's take a look around and see what we can see. For starters, we got a truck towing a trailer here, which I'm getting stuck on something. Activating our Pip-Boy, we see that there's a bed in here and some barrels. There's some other cars that are parked. Presumably they were waiting to fuel up to avoid the bombs, or they just were lined up and got caught in the mix. There's a big bus here. This bus must have taken a lot of fuel and definitely a lot of coolant from the automatic coolant system there. We can, I believe we can enter the bus here, take a look around. We see a pre-war skeleton there, and we see the driver who did not make it, chilling next to his first aid kit. This is a bit of a haunting tale of the chaos that must have ensued during the October 23rd tragedy. Stepping around, we have a little bit of a different garage. We've got some fishing supplies here and another motorcycle that appears to have been worked on before the bombs dropped. Got some gas canisters and the workshop with that ultimate settlement pack. that you can find on the Nexus here to turn this into a settlement. Got a cash register here, we've got a sleeping bag here, and the remains of a harborman, or at the very least an islander who decided to set up shop here and did not survive the radiation, as many people did not. Many people did not. Now over here, this one's a little bit different because instead of having an office, there are toilets here. That's kind of interesting. There are toilets here, probably a unisex bathroom with unisex sinks, and yeah, it's nice to see that this Red Rocket thought of people's bodily needs. Then we have this house over here, which isn't really related to the Red Rocket, although I do think it's possible that the people that lived here at the very least would frequent this Red Rocket just to get snacks, Nuka-Colas, right? I mean, we do that in real life. If you live near a gas station, you get the munchies, off you go, right? And then we've got another bus here that's on its side. Now, this is also interesting because there are 2 buses in this area, but no buses at the others. Why is that? I think that they're tour buses. I think that these are tour buses that people from the Boston Commonwealth would hop on and get a tour of the island, go to Beaver Creek Lanes, go to the Cliffs Edge Hotel to stay, and admire the scenery before this before this shithole happened. Over here we have a little campground that is part of the settlement, and yeah, there's lawn flamingos, there's trailers, there's blown out buildings, there's everything that you would expect for a tourist destination. Now that we've wrapped this up, I think we can head over to Nuka World and check out that Red Rocket. Past Kitty Kingdom, and just to the right of the World of Refreshment, we have this Red Rocket. This Red Rocket's different for a variety of reasons. Number one, it's got a Nuka-Cola on it. It's the only one in the game with a Nuka-Cola on it instead of a Red Rocket, and that's because, well, I mean, we're in Nuka World and branding matters. Thanks, John Brad Burton. Off in the distance, we could see the Brad Burton town, which we'll do in a later video, go into the lore and the mysteries and all the interesting things there. But yeah, this is the Nuka World Red Rocket. This is the only Red Rocket and really the only settlement you can make in the base DLC without using mods. So in here we've got the power armor station. These keep popping up. Why is that? Why is that? Are people stealing them or building them? Who knows? This is the workbench where you can turn the entire area into a settlement. And going off over here, we see a similar build to the other ones. This one's a little bit different as well because this one is the only one that I've seen in the game that has a curved, beautiful pre-war poster that still exists, like so. We've got a Nuka-Cola cash register here. What a shock. We have an Edotronic here, which I will do videos on in general. But yeah, just open it and occasionally you can find goodies and snacks in there. Back here we have an office waiting room area conversion that's set up. That was botched, so let me just rephrase and call it a waiting room. We got a cigarette machine and a high-tech television that at this time does not work just because it has no power. We also have another really cool Red Rocket poster here. This one is really well done. This Red Rocket is really well done as none of the other ones have these kind of portraits. I kind of wish there would be more in the game, but there's not. There's a safe behind the chair there, and there's a couple small engine repair signs, one inside and one outside. And stepping around, we see that this area has been converted into farmland. One thing I would suggest, if you get this in the base game, is to extend the build radius by using the using mods, as well as to also have an unlimited build budget, so that way you can turn this into basically a fortress or a city, whatever you choose to do. There will be raiders and super mutants fighting in that house there, and they occasionally wander over, and they also come from the general area of this sign. Great place to set up a stupid amount of missile launchers. And speaking of wandering over, what is that? What is this? It's a dog. It's not a raider dog. What is this? What is this? It's not a raider dog. What is it doing? Does it belong to one of the NPCs over there somewhere? That is so weird. Alright, new mystery of Red Rocket. Whose dog is that? Where is it going? Why is it here? New mystery. There we go. Fight about it in the comments. I would love to know what you guys think. Now, with that being said, we can, I think we can wrap up this video, because we did touch on a couple other Red Rocket things in the Big John salvage video that I did, and these are the biggest Red Rockets and the most prominent, in my opinion. I'm sure there's I think there's some others running around out there, but this one is by far the most unique, and I would love to know what you think about this video in the comment section down below, as well as take this time to give a big shout out to my channel members. My channel members are a part of a growing community that I'm so grateful and appreciative for. They get all kinds of cool perks like private access to my Discord, early access to all my videos, members only content, cool channel badges, emotes, and more. If you guys want to become a channel member, click the join button under this video or any of the videos that you like, and I will catch you next time.